what you're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Come on with the pay and those rapper taste on it, you know?
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with Micah.
Hey.
And Rob.
Finally made it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rob and Terrence are the same person because Terrence is not here. But we are back with episode 3, Red Tails. So we will be giving an in-depth look at Red Tails, directed by Anthony Hemingway, the 2012 drama about the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II. Takes place mostly in Italy in 1944, 45. So I guess let's get right into it. Overall thoughts of the movie first, Rob.
I'll go last.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, I'll go last. You guys go first.
Right,
this movie wasn't what I thought it would be, I think is the nicest way of putting it. I wasn't.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
I wasn't too impressed all around. I appreciate what the movie was trying to do. I just think it failed on almost every level.
Okay. I did not care for the movie at all. I thought it was after initially watching it, I would have given it like 50%. You know, like 2.5 out of 5, that sort of thing. And then the more and more I thought about it, the more that score dropped significantly. I like you said, I didn't. The things that it was supposed to tackle, I thought it did a poor job. The only thing that I will give it credit for, in any seriousness, is the special effects during the fight scenes. I enjoyed those. I thought the fight scenes were cool. Other than that, it was basically me waiting for the next dogfighting scene. Go for it.
All right. Now, when we first talked about this movie, I mentioned that I saw it in theaters. And when I went to see it in theaters, I was very excited to see this movie. I really, really wanted to see this movie. I love the subject matter. I love the idea of some really good-looking dogfights in a movie, and these were like the best dogfights you'll ever see in any freaking movie.
Right.
So I saw it, and I walked out of the theater feeling pretty decent. I liked it. I liked what I saw. And then you guys, this was a while ago, so you guys saw this again, and you guys had some very negative opinions. And I'm like, maybe I just made myself like this movie. So I sat down, I watched it again, and I'm going to be the dissenter and say I still like this movie.
Oh,
Wow.
okay, good.
Now, see, the thing is, you, Micah, you say this movie didn't do anything it was supposed to. This movie was exactly what I thought it was going to be. This movie did exactly what it was trying to do, which was what it did was really weird. Now, I mean, how much? Well, first of all, a lot of what you guys dislike was the dialogue. The dialogue was hokey as hell.
Yeah, I mean, to the point where it's the dialogue and the delivery of the dialogue.
Oh yeah, like the and the thing is, this dialogue was coming out of the mouths of actors you've seen very recently doing great things. You know they're better than this. Now, here's why I'm okay with it.
I don't agree Terrence Howard is better than that.
Well, I don't like Terrence Howard to
Okay,
begin with.
good.
I don't like that soft-spoken motherfucker.
Fuck him. His little light voice.
Hey, I'm Terrence Howard. I'm in charge.
Like you. I'm glad Don Cheadle replaced his ass. Anyway,
The
I agree.
uniform is the only thing I respect, Commander. Shut up.
Anyway, so here's why I'm okay with that dialogue, because that movie, you got to look at it from this is George Lucas's baby. This is George Lucas's brain. This movie was made to emulate the movies that he thinks he grew up with from God knows how long ago. That's why.
I mean, like Leathernecks.
Yeah. So this movie has hokey dialogue on purpose. It was delivered it did what it did as a choice. Now that choice may not have been the right choice.
I would argue it is not the right choice.
It's not the right choice. This movie should have been and what it aimed for were two different things. I think what it aimed for, it hit dead on.
You know, Micah, you said that this movie was not what you thought it would be. I would disagree with you there. This movie is exactly what I thought it would be because I didn't think it was going to be good.
I honestly, I mean, I really wanted to give this movie I really wanted to enjoy this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But
the subject matter, all of that, of course.
I just think it failed in almost every respect. I mean, I have a list of issues with the movie, and it's one is how the opening is shot. From the title sequence, I know that this is going to be a terrible movie.
You know what? I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad you said that because I made a similar comment to my wife when we were watching this. That no, you tell me. Well, actually, give me your opinion of why you think that.
When I saw the title card come up, I thought I was looking at a made-for-TV movie.
Exactly. It looked very cheap.
That was
looked very cheap.
That's part of why when I saw the title card, I was like, "What the? Oh, I know what I'm in for. I'm in for a movie that's supposed to be like these old serials that freaking Lucas is in love with. It's meant to be." With the interview that he had with Jon Stewart that we're going to be playing little snippets of, he talks about that it was filmed forever ago. This is a movie that he wanted to make it look like it was a really, really old movie that was just found. The only problem with it is that the movie looks freaking gorgeous. If
it doesn't match up.
If this film were filmed with a filter that made it look like an old piece of crap film, I think this movie would have been accepted better if it actually was made to look like something that had been laying around forever.
If it was made to look like the old propaganda war films,
yeah,
then I could take the hokiness and the campiness, but I expected a more serious take. I didn't know anything about this movie other than the fact that it starred a bunch of black people, and I expected something. I'm not going to say glory, but I expected something a little more serious than what I got.
Right. Now, we talked about, because we have a number of clips this week, so I definitely don't want to miss any of them. But we talked about the dialogue. That was one of the things, like the sort of hokey dialogue. So here's an instance of that, and this is I thought was a pretty telling.
You ain't got nothing. I can't lose. I don't even know why y'all tried. You just got here, Maurice. I hope you're learning something.
Oh, but at least you learning by now not to play poker with people that cheat.
Hey, ain't cheat.
Cheat.
I don't want to learn how to play cards. I want to learn about combat flying, dog fights, and tricks for switching it up on them Jerrys, you know?
What the hell you think it is we know about dogfight?
Yeah, the white boys the only ones get to tangle it up with the Jerrys around here. But they don't talk to us much, so...
Experience is a cruel teacher. Gives the exam first, then the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. One, the country boy that you hear is Neo.
Neo's accent is atrocious.
I was amused by that accent throughout because it was so ridiculous. You can't place it. It's just this nonsense. But it was amusing. I
hated it.
It kept taking me out of it. It kept taking me out because I know you don't sound like that, dude. I know you don't sound like that.
Well, and more importantly, Neo is not an actor. Why did you give Neo a part where he has to put on an accent?
Right.
a pretty big part too.
Right. Yes. like that is one of my biggest pet peeves with movies is trying to draw people in by hiring non-actors to play major roles. Like, hey, why are we putting Neo in it? Why? Because he had that hot song? Like, yeah, black people like R&B. They like Neo.
No.
They'll go see this movie. No, but, I mean, let's get real. That's part of the reason why he's in the movie.
I mean, I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with him being in the movie.
I have a problem with him being such a huge part.
I have a problem with him. I want to know who the hell said, Neo, go with that.
That's valid.
I think I'm going to try to vote there. What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
Now, besides that, okay.
You're the first Negro pilot to shoot down Jerry.
The dialogue itself, it's corny, but it's not wrong. It's not. I don't feel that it was terribly detracting from the story. It wasn't like it wasn't complete nonsense. It was just corny.
But that particular piece wasn't that bad. There's some sections later on in the movie where the Red Tails are escorting the bomber pilots.
Oh, the bomber pilots are the worst actors in this movie.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, all right, because those.
I have that clip.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
I have that clip. Hold on.
You're fired. They're ours.
Red Tails?
I don't recognize the markings. He's colored.
Yeah, right.
Hell, if I'm joking, look.
Jesus Christ. They can't all be colored. One fighter group, all Negro pilots? I don't believe it.
What the hell do we do?
Tacoma 1 to all planes. Everybody's eyes open.
I don't think our fighter escort's gonna be much help this trip.
Really?
Yeah, those were the worst actors they could possibly find
dude,
for this.
That was pretty bad.
Boy, I sure hope those red tails will be escorting us again.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to meet up with those Red Tails guys later on this week. Bling! Yeah, I mean, and look, I understand the time, you know, it's 1944. The way people talk is very different, obviously, than now. They probably didn't.
They don't talk stilted.
Right. But I felt like that was everyone in that movie. Everyone. That dialogue about I want to learn tricks. I want to learn how to fly planes and know tricks to switch it up on those Jerry's. Like, it just sounded terrible to me.
I think, and I'm really hoping, like I said, it was a choice. It was a horrible choice when you see half the cast of The Wire on here delivering lines piss poor, you're like, wait a second, I just saw your freaking amazing show end, and Bubbles, what the hell happened?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, okay, so the question is, like, we've talked about the dialogue, and, I mean, we could beat that to death for as long as that movie ran, as far as I'm concerned. But what did you think about the fight? Let's do some good, right? We've slammed some bad. Let's do some good. What did you think of the special effects for the dogfight scenes?
I thought they were fucking amazing.
Yeah. I really enjoyed them. I thought they were quite good.
They looked very. I mean, it wasn't. There was no point where it looked like blatant CGI. Even on, I have a very nice TV at home. It still didn't look like it was horrible CGI planes flying around in the sky.
No, not at all.
It looked really. You could tell that Lucas, as he poured his own freaking money into this movie, and ILM really.
I was waiting for Wedge to show up and with his X-wing. I mean, it felt like that scene. Those scenes were Star Wars.
Those scenes were why this movie exists in my mind. Those scenes, yes. I think someone watched this movie and probably started writing a Top Gun remake from watching this damn movie.
They're making another Top Gun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. What were your thoughts?
The special effects were pretty decent. I mean, for some reason, I think that everything had too much of a clean look to it. But maybe that's just
I can see that argument. I can see that.
But for the most part, the aerial combat was pretty awesome.
I'm gonna say I agree with that clean look, but I think I'm thankful it was there. Otherwise, the planes would look a bit more muddied as they were moving around so damn fast, and you couldn't tell who was a bad guy and who was a good guy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely thought that was the most redeeming portion of the movie. I thought character development was non-existent.
I hate.
Yeah.
I hate Lightning. I hate that character.
Yes.
Everything about that character I don't
have
like.
a huge issue. Okay, Lightning's thing was...
Lightning was played, by the way, Lieutenant Joe Lightning Little, played by David Ayalo. Whoa, sorry.
And he's
I butchered that.
He's supposed to be basically he's the leader of the Red Tails. He's basically the main damn character of the movie. Oh, not Lightning.
Well, he's
sorry.
I'm
sorry. I'm thinking about.
You're thinking Easy.
I'm getting it all mixed up.
Yeah, he's the Falco of that group.
I was about to go off on my rant about Easy because I really, really dislike.
Well,
Easy.
let me just.
Well, I didn't like their dynamic. It didn't make any sense.
It didn't, and we got to talk about them both together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because the big thing with Easy was he's an alcoholic, and the thing with Lightning is he doesn't take orders. He's a maverick. Now I'll say this: Lightning was clearly a maverick. Easy was not clearly an alcoholic, not remotely. You drink. I wouldn't know he was an alcoholic if they didn't keep fucking mentioning it.
Right. Well, okay. Here's my problem with the Easy being an alcoholic and Lightning being like the maverick type character. There were no consequences for Easy. There were none.
Yeah.
there were consequences for Lightning being a Maverick. He decided to be a Maverick. At the end, he got all Mavericky and got killed. Right?
Well,
But Easy, what?
We'll talk about that later.
Right. But Easy, okay, so they had that agreement later in the movie. I'm going to listen to you while we're up there. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be a Maverick or whatever when I'm flying. I'm going to listen to orders if you stop drinking while you're, before you go flying.
It was the first thing he does.
Right. And he drinks anyway, and nothing happens to him.
Well, the movie tries to place blame for a character's death on the fact that Easy was drinking.
But
it wasn't his fucking fault.
It wasn't his fault.
That
doesn't make any sense.
As I was watching it, I was trying to say, I was trying to figure out what the hell they were trying to say. Like maybe he was guiding him in. He was giving him instructions on how to land. And at one point he was like, pull back. Now pull forward. Like it was weird. And I'm like thinking maybe they were trying to say he was giving bad instructions. But if that's the case, that was really not well told at all.
Right. No,
that didn't make any sense.
I was just like, he's trying to land another plane that he's not flying.
Right.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be easy.
And the fact that Lightning was upset at Easy for that, like, just made Lightning seem dumb in my eyes. Like
Lightning was dumb.
He was very dumb. Fuck that guy. I don't like that character.
Lightning's whole arc was ridiculous. I saw a girl from the air. Let me go find her.
Let me go find this random white woman.
Yeah, let me go find this random white woman in the middle of Italy that loves Negroes.
Right. Whose mother loves Negroes and just lets her in. Like, what the fuck?
And they love English-speaking Negroes and don't speak any English, so they have no idea this guy could be telling them his plans to rape and murder them, and they're perfectly happy to have him in their home.
I hated the entire. Look. I didn't mind how their relationship started. Like I didn't mind like, oh, she saw him in a plane, like, oh, I'm Italian and I'm in a plane. Yeah. Like I didn't have a problem with that. I had a problem. You don't go to someone's house in the middle of a goddamn war zone, and then the mom is like, hey, let's just spicy meatball. We're cool. Like everything is fucking fine. Really? I'm pretty sure. Look, I wasn't alive back in the 40s in Italy, but I'm pretty sure they would have had a problem with, 1, American soldiers, 2, black American soldiers, because it's not like there were black people just hanging out in Italy all the time. So it would have been someone they're not used to, right? How they bring him in, there's literally no racial conflict between. There's none. There's none. He's gonna marry this white woman, very white. Okay, like it's not like
chiseled cheekbones, white.
Yeah, like she's very white. He's very black. I butchered the spelling of his or the pronunciation of his last name. Dude is African. Okay,
that's how black he is.
That's how black he is. Okay, yeah. He's not Terrence Howard black, he's like Idris Elba black. Like, this is a black dude, right? No conflict, no racial conflict. At no point did they ever go to the fucking store together and people were like, hey, Negro, you better get out of here with that white woman. Nothing. They didn't show any of that. They just got along. Will you marry me? I'll think about it. Yes, I'll marry you. Yeah, everything's fine. What? In 1945?
Now, see,
go fuck yourself.
This
doesn't make any sense.
This is where I get into choices. Their choices to make this one type of film when it really, really should have been an entirely different type of film.
Right. And this is why I don't understand why you liked it.
I think it says I really, really like dogfights.
That's not enough of a reason.
I also like corny things. So I think.
Okay, well you got both. This is the movie for you.
I think that's what floated me through. But I'm not oblivious to the fact that this really should have been something else entirely. This really should have dealt with a lot of different issues that were not even. I won't say they weren't touched on because that's what it was. They were touched and then left alone. They weren't dealt with. They didn't deal with these issues. They were mentioned. People are racist. They're not going to let you do this. We're going to do it anyway. Yay! That's pretty much what happened.
All right. Well, yeah.
No,
okay. I'm going to play another clip. This is Terrence Howard's character, Colonel A.J. Bullard, talking to what is the dude's name?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston's character, which unfortunately I don't have his name up here.
The racist man.
Yeah, he's a racist colonel. So here you go.
Colonel, 8 German fighters or 80 German fighters, it still doesn't change what I think of you and your boys.
We don't care.
Respect the uniform.
Believe me, sir, that is all I have respect for.
And that's coming from a woman beater.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Really?
Slamming Terrence
Really?
Howard. Terrence Howard.
That guy beats on women. Fuck him.
I can dislike him for other reasons.
There are plenty of other reasons. Now, look, I know a lot of people are big Terrence Howard fans. I don't get it. I think he look, I'm a nerd. He was horrible in Iron Man, okay? Like, I will never forgive him for that. Two, but,
maybe next time. Next time, baby.
Yeah, next time, baby. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I was like, no, not next time. Please, no. And then there was no next time for him, and I was okay with that. No, but, I mean, in all honesty, that line is one of maybe 3 lines in the entire movie that actually deals with any sort of racism.
Yeah.
And it barely deals with it.
It doesn't deal. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It
you're right.
touches.
Yeah, just a little,
It's like,
little tap.
hey, racism's out there, and we're gonna go shoot up some Jerry's.
Yeah. It's like we don't have time. Yeah, I mean, okay. And can I just say this? Could the leader of the German pilots been any more?
Oh my
like,
God,
over the top?
evil German! That was the evil German for every evil German. I don't like that. That was the only German accent in the entire movie spoken, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
And he had to have the. I can't even imitate that nonsense.
It was so over the top. It was just German.
It was like we're German and we are evil. Okay, God,
we get it. We get it. You're evil. Yeah, I mean, okay. So that scene, Terrence Howard's character is back in the United States trying to get the Negro Squadron.
He traveled a lot in this fucking movie.
Oh no,
quickly.
In the beginning, he was in the U.S. and he was fighting to get them some jobs, and then he came to Italy. He stayed there. Like he didn't.
It's like there was a weird. I'm getting to the weird sense of time this movie had, and that it didn't really.
Well, there was no indication of like
of
months
how much of any time elapsed at all. It felt really odd. I could not tell how long it had been for one thing. That's why I was like, how quickly is he traveling? These orders that are coming through, how far is he going? Is it another base the town over? It just didn't make much sense.
Yeah, you got Italy 1944 in the beginning, and that was it. You had no idea like time frame after that. So continuing with the touching on racism, because this was supposed to be one of the larger elements, is like, yeah, these guys are heroes. Let's talk about the reason why they're heroes, because they rose up during this adversity. Here's the adversity. Like, let's fucking talk about it.
No, they didn't.
They didn't talk about any of it, right? So let me play the most racist, quote unquote, scene in the movie. Okay?
Oh, good. And it stars the character that I hate, Groovy.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? This is an officers' club.
I am an officer.
This is a whites-only officers' club. You're off the reservation, pal. Try the Italian dance hall near the main plaza.
Hey! Go home, nigger.
I got what I came for. Good night.
Yeah, so...
And then he turns around
and punches the...
punches the go home nigger guy in the face.
Which, you know what? That felt good. That was as good as any CGI dogfight scene for me. I was okay with it.
Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, fine. You, for some reason, bagged this Italian woman with your non-Italian speaking swagger. All right. So you're feeling yourself, right? Yeah, and I'm fucking I'm fucking a white woman. I can go into this white bar for no. Why did he go in the white bar?
Well, he didn't know.
No, because the big whites only sign on.
Because he's a maverick.
Well, he went in there. He looked around. We saw what happened in the clip. Heard what happened in the clip. I got what I came for. Like, did you go in there just to be called a nigger?
He went in there to start a fight, which is, I guess, what they're trying to get at.
For what?
That's the piss poor.
He was a maverick.
But that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
That's what maverick is.
It's trying to like this.
Like Sarah Palin, maverick.
This is trying to establish that he's on the outside, but it just looks like he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, right. Like you're a dummy. Like I don't
Right?
like
No,
this character.
I hated the character. Now, hold on, because we do have a clip before you go into it. We have a clip of him talking to Easy after that fight, after he gets into that fight. So here's some more dialogue, and here is them addressing racism again, touching on it. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one sec. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
Start a race ride won't help you.
I was finishing what they started.
Wrong or right, we got regs to live by, and you throwing punches, busting them up, get you what?
A good feeling, Easy. Right here. A throb that says I didn't choke on what they were feeding me. How your heart feel?
You say they like all of them.
Same as always. Shuffle along, cause no strife. Don't scare your face by speaking out.
You know, some of the time I would have stood with you side
Some
by
other
side.
time?
But you put a minute's worth of righteousness ahead of a whole war.
Same old Joe Little. Still getting into the wrong fights for the wrong reasons.
Your reasons any better?
Yeah. So,
like you gotta look. Racism existed. It still exists. But
what?
What?
Yeah, I thought it was over.
But Jesus Christ, people, you can't. You got to pick your battles. You can't go all Rosewood on every white person you see.
I love how he's like, Easy says to him, like, you say it like it's all of them, and he basically goes, yeah, it is all of them. You're sleeping with a white woman,
dumb motherfucker.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say this.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I want to say this.
White people are the devil. By the way, I'm going to go to my white girl's house. What?
You're going to look at me real funny when I say this.
God, that doesn't even make any sense.
I wish this movie hadn't touched on anything racist whatsoever. Because,
I agree with you. They did a piss poor job when they did.
Well, I'm saying it because it makes no sense. It doesn't fit with the rest of this freaking movie that they were trying to do. They weren't trying to do a movie about racism, so don't fucking touch it because it makes no sense. Because here's why I fucking hate that entire sequence right there. He goes into this white club. They're like, nigger. He punches a guy, and they beat the shit out of him. He doesn't look any worse for wear, mind you.
No, he really doesn't.
They dog for a whole bar that beats the shit out of him. He looks okay. So why'd you do that? Starting trouble. Okay. Everybody, they all hate the black man. They go up in the sky. They fight once. They save everybody's lives. And they show back up in the same bar. And everyone's their best fucking friend ever. And they completely drop any kind of racism for the rest of the damn movie. Because that's how easy racism is to beat in the real world. No, it's fucking not. I'm sorry.
and that scene that you just mentioned.
Hey, fly boys!
That's trouble. Just come on.
Don't just walk away from me.
He picked the wrong day.
Let's go. Hey! Come over here.
What?
You guys... You're the Red Tails, right? You know Red Tails? Color Boy Flyers?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it like that, but who's asking?
Chester Barnes, 98th Bomb Group. You guys, you flew a little top cover for us about a month ago. Little run of a Palesti. It's the best goddamn flying I've ever seen, gentlemen. And we guys, well, we feel we owe all you boys a drink. Why don't you come and join us? Come on.
I will say that Lightning's face in that scene is hilarious because he looks like he's ready to whoop everybody's ass.
Dude, that scene makes me so fucking angry.
We feel we owe you a drink, not an apology.
A drink.
And then they spend the whole night getting wasted with these guys.
Like, they're like, what do you prefer being called?
Colored or Negro?
Yeah, it's Negro, sir. And they're like, now we know. Because once I talked to one of you, I realized that you're human beings. And now we can all get together and hang out. Maybe we'll party in the United States. What the fuck? That's not how it happened.
Now that you've done something for me, I can be nice to you.
Yeah, exactly. I can bother by calling you Negro instead of nigger to your face.
I really wish they hadn't even gone in that direction.
Yeah, don't even touch it. Because when you do, you just ruin it. You make a big, dumb, loud action movie, a jingoistic action movie. You're trying to give it depth, but you're bad at it. You're bad at it.
There is no depth to it. That is the opposite of depth. There was nothing there. It was, You guys did good once. Racism over.
I guess you guys are all right.
You're okay. Let's have some drinks. Let's joke about colors.
What are you darkies supposed to be called?
Yeah. Dude, I don't... Look, the movie is what? 2 hours long? Hour 45 minutes, something like that?
First of all, yeah, it was 2 hours and 5 minutes because it started to get excruciating at one point.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the running time. I'm pretty sure you can't solve racism in 2 hours. Like, it shouldn't have ended where everyone is like, yay, racism's over, black people are awesome. It was 1945. I'm pretty sure the Civil Rights Act didn't get signed until 1964. We had a couple of years where shit was still pretty real.
I'm pretty sure if you took all the racism in this movie and put it together, it really wouldn't add up to more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't, there's no way it's 5 minutes. Hey, nigger, go home. All right, that 30 seconds. Like, dude, I mean, seriously, they didn't fucking deal with it at all. They never showed any background to any of the fucking pilots.
The most they did it with was the meetings where they were just trying to fight to get their fighters the right to go out there and fight. Right. That was the most it dealt with it, and that was it. It was just let my boys fight. Okay, fine, we'll let them go fight.
No, George Lucas said that this movie was meant for young people, and he does that. He makes movies for kids.
Right.
But what kind of message does that send to kids? That if you, especially little black
prove
kids,
yourself,
if you prove yourself, then the majority will. Only if you help the majority will the majority accept you.
That's a good point.
That's not necessarily. I don't think that's a positive message that you should be even hinting at. Only if you work twice as hard and maybe they'll accept you.
Right. No. Well, okay. Here's the problem. Look, God loved George Lucas, and I know George Lucas has been trying to make this movie for 23 years. Part of the reason, let's get real, George Lucas was married to a black woman for a long time, and they got divorced, and he's with a black woman now. She's probably like, listen.
Okay, these are things I didn't know.
Yeah, dude. George Lucas. George Lucas and Robert De Niro prefer ladies of color. Okay? That's just how they go.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, except for Robert De Niro prefers when they're porn stars, which is weird. That's true.
It is.
It's true.
Charmaine Sinclair.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So my thing about Lucas, and I will give him credit for this. He tried to do the movie, right? The problem is this is not a movie that you can try and make like an action film and have a white director do it. You can't. Because you're not going to address the real issues. Now, I've never seen Tuskegee, which is the...
What do you mean white director?
Yeah, he didn't direct it.
No, but he's the brainchild behind this.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say,
the director's black. But the story, the brainchild, this is from Lucas's head, right?
Yeah.
So...
Well, and Lucas has been shown. I don't think Lucas has a racist bone in his body. I don't think
so at all.
I just think he's foolish in the way he tries to deal with it. And Jar Jar Binks and the Trade Federation is a pretty good example.
How about he only has one black person per trilogy? I mean, they're the coolest black person at the time.
I think he's naive. I think he's just purely innocently naive.
I agree with that. I don't think it's like, oh yeah, the Trade Federation characters sound like East Asian stereotypes. Whoa. Yeah, like I don't think he's like, yeah, fuck Asian people. Let's put these characters in it. I think he just doesn't get it. I think
when the backlash hit him from stuff like that, he was like, whoa, like it really caught him off. He had no idea people would be upset by it.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I think he's completely unaware. Unlike people like Michael Bay, who puts characters like that, and I think he's totally aware.
I think Michael Bay just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, but I mean, in all honesty. But one of the larger issues I found in this movie, and there were plenty, was, okay, so the racism wasn't addressed at all, okay? Like, not at all. in a movie that's supposed to be dealing with the Tuskegee Airmen, and the racism is a major part of their story. It just is. Whether you want to address it or not, it just is. The more interesting thing that I found was when they fought the 602 jet propulsion fighters at the end.
Won.
Like, I found that to be a more interesting point. Like, look, these guys are in that moment of history where your tech is slightly less than your enemy. And that slight difference is making a world of difference, you know? That was a much more interesting dichotomy than, like, black pilots in Italy during the 40s or anything, because they never fucking addressed anything.
And I agree. Like,
they got more into, like, oh my God, these jet fighters are going to be so much faster, blah, 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 blah. I was like, wow, I know more about the 602s than the fucking racism in the 1940s. Like, it's ridiculous.
And even the jet fighter thing was pretty quick. It was like, here's this one fight and we're done. And like I say, because I love my freaking dogfight nonsense, I really wish that was expanded upon. I wish they had just dealt with that, period, instead of trying to even think about the racism. And then my mind wanders back to that. I fucking hate Easy.
Why?
Because
you never got into that. Why?
Because I've dealt with alcoholics in my life. That wasn't an alcoholic. That was a guy that happened to be drinking all the damn time. He didn't do anything. He did not do a damn thing that an alcoholic is known for, to say, hey, he's an alcoholic, besides drinking a bunch. His drinking affected not a damn thing. No. And I think that
there was no tension in his story at all.
I think that was insulting to to people that have dealt with that in their lives, either have suffered from it personally or have had to deal with an alcoholic. And that
how about the person that he's based on? How about that? Like, these are real people.
That's true too.
Yeah, dude.
I can't.
Fuck your history. Fuck who you are.
It's hard for me to associate these people with real people because they don't act like real people.
No, they're robots. They're robots.
Especially coming off of Flight.
Oh my God!
Black alcoholic pilot.
Oh my God!
Like the
also known as Easy. No,
like the performances are so vastly different. And granted, Red Tails is not about.
No,
Flight was kind of like about that, and Red Tails wasn't. But Red Tails, Easy didn't, like you said, his drinking was there for no
discernible reason.
It was like, hey, here's a MacGuffin. Nah, never mind. What?
It was his drinking was there because it was in this, because somebody thought it was part of it. Was because it was in the script. Somebody left it in the script and forgot to fucking erase it because it makes no sense. It has nothing to do with anything. Lightning being a douchebag is Lightning being a douchebag.
But
at least he was a douchebag.
Right? No, but okay, Lightning being a douchebag and a maverick or whatever, it had a consequence.
Yeah.
They were like, stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing this. Dude was about to get married. He was in love. He seemed to be, like, hey, God bless, everything's working out for you. But then he continues to be a maverick, and he ends up dying. Can
I just say I peeked at Micah's list over here, and it's like, lightning, skip lightning.
Your list of complaints?
Yes, it's all Lightning. And Lightning's stupid death is the last thing on my list. He supposedly loves this woman. Right, and he asked her to marry him, and she said yes, and he was getting ready to start a new life. This should be a turning point in his life. This is where his character is supposed to grow out of that maverick state, and it doesn't make any sense for him to sacrifice himself the way it's not realistic.
Here's why.
It would have made more sense if he had done. I'm okay with him sacrificing himself. It would have been cool. No. The guy died in real life. Like, he's got to die.
I'm not okay with the way it happened in the film.
I agree with
exactly.
I agree with that.
There's more to his death in the film. It was he died. Everyone be sad. Oh, the kid from The Wire's back. Yeah, we're all happy. Right. Death in life. Shut up. That was crap.
But Lightning, Lightning's death, he takes out one of these jets, and he essentially plays chicken. Yeah. He goes straight at them. Are you trying to tell me that there's no other way to take this thing out?
There's no other way.
There's no other way.
Except for
to
the
take
other
this
ways
thing
that
out?
a bunch of them have been taken out the whole time.
Right.
Like I believe he had shot one down previous to that.
Right. Like, come on, man. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And he's like, oh, I'm going to do this and tell my wife I love her. Apparently, you didn't love her that much, dude.
Well, okay, you know why?
That's a very Armageddon.
This just hit me.
ending for,
Yes, it
Lightning.
is.
Hold up. This just hit me. How did he take out the train? How did he take out the boat?
Yeah, he took
went,
out.
He went face first at everything.
Oh, he's
and then the last
idiot.
one killed him. It was. I didn't even catch that.
You know what? You're totally right.
course,
You're
of
totally right.
course.
But if your character is supposed to do what your character is supposed to do at the end of an arc, you don't put yourself in those situations.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, dude had to die because historically he did die.
Fine,
but
he
he
could
should
have died a
right.
different way.
What he should have done was he should have died by protecting Easy or something like that. Like I know he saved Easy, but he saved him by playing chicken, which didn't make any sense. Like, no, not gonna.
He saved him by flat out killing himself. Like,
right.
Period.
I mean, if you're going to do that, I would have had more respect if he just rammed the plane into the other plane.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
I think it would have made more sense if the jet was going after Easy and he somehow just got in between and basically got shot. Like, so he just came up, with his back to the Nazi guy. But like, it didn't make any sense. And this is poor writing. Okay, it doesn't matter director. It doesn't matter actors. It doesn't matter delivery. None of that matters. If you have poor writing ruins a movie.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. Can you blame? I mean, because a writer will say a dogfight commences, and it's the director's job.
Well, no, the
say
death scene is going to be written out.
That's going to be written out. That he went straight at him.
But I blame everybody. I blame everybody.
Well, yes.
Like the director should have said, "This is stupid. Let's have him die a different way."
Well, you've seen the director's accomplishments. Didn't know any better.
No, but
God damn it.
Well, there you go. But that's the thing is, there are these arcs that get started that go nowhere. Easy's drinking goes nowhere. Hey,
Yeah, there's never any kind of.
I'm still hitting the sauce.
No. When Lightning dies, he pours it out. And my first thought was when Lightning died and he picks up the drink, that's a reason to drink.
That's a reason to drink, dude. Your boy just died. So yeah, it wasn't like Easy was drunk and that's why Lightning had to save him or anything. No, Easy was doing fine. He was just in a dogfight, So Easy's drinking arc. No logical end to that. Lightning's arc doesn't make any sense the way it ends. What's the one kid's name? Raygun. His arc, he gets captured, he escapes, or he's a quarter blind, or he's blind.
He's
a little bit.
He's like half blind in one eye.
Right? He gets shot down. He gets captured. He escapes. They address some sort of weird racism with the American POWs for like a quarter of a second. Like when he walks in, they're like, what's this guy doing here? Like, bitch, I'm a POW just like you. Fuck you.
And then they kind of, some weird-ass reverse racism where you're black, you can't be a spy, so you're with us, and that's why we want you.
Right.
Yeah, like,
fuck you,
see,
buddy.
Yeah, and things like that. And then, I can't go with you. I'll stick out like a sore thumb. You're Americans in Germany. You're still going to stick out, dude.
Right, come on,
Take
man.
it easy. But, okay, so then his arc is what? That he makes it back?
He makes it back. Well, first the guy, they
then
think he
what?
dies, and the guy shows up with, here's his dog tags. He was the best soldier I ever knew.
He was
Why-
the best
why-
damn soldier I ever knew.
Why is he the best soldier?
I don't know.
You show
'cause
nothing.
He looked like a pretty shitty soldier before.
Well, it goes back to what we said before. Because he helped me, I like that guy now.
Right. No, you're 100%. You're 100% right. So okay, let's move on to Lucas and some of the stuff that he's had to say. This is Lucas on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
How long have you been working on this?
23 years. 23 years. We finished it, financed it myself, and I figured I could, get the prints and ads paid for by the studios and that they would release it. And I showed it to all of them, and they said, no, we don't know how to market a movie like this.
Why?
It's not green enough.
Really?
They only release green movies.
I didn't realize that. So the
Yeah.
message, because the message is patriotic and jingoistic and doesn't have any recycling in it, that's the problem?
No, it's because it's an all-black movie. There's no major white roles in it at all.
Before we get a second further, I just want to say a pet theory I have regarding this movie and its financing. I firmly believe the re-release of The Phantom Menace in 3D financed this movie.
Huh.
That's interesting.
I really do. I really think, because Lucas has a shitload of money, but he's also not dumb about just throwing it away. I'm pretty sure that he wanted to make this movie, and he had to do something else to recoup some of the costs before it came out. And I'm rather certain that Phantom Menace paid for this movie.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. I mean, whatever you got to do.
Just.
I mean, the movie cost $58 million to make. You want to guess how much it made?
I don't want to. It scares me. 8.
Wow, really? No. Was it like 12 black people in America? So it cost $58 million. It only made $49 million. It didn't even make its budget.
Close. $9 million.
$9 million off, dude.
Yeah, you gotta sell a lot of DVDs for this.
Yeah, to make that $9 million.
Is that worldwide?
That is, yeah, that's total.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think they marketed it worldwide?
No.
Why didn't they market it in Italy? Because apparently all the white people in Italy totally love black people, according to this fucking movie.
He's right, though, right? I mean, he's.
Oh, Lucas?
Yeah.
He's 100% right.
That's honestly, and that I will say.
It's nice to hear someone say it.
As much as we hate Lightning and his relationship with this white woman.
No, I don't have a problem with his relationship with the white woman.
I have a problem with that particular relationship because it was stupid.
Well, maybe if you had a white girlfriend, you would see it differently.
No, what I'm okay. God,
I've ruined you.
Who's broken now?
Well, what he's saying is that these all black cast movies don't happen, and he actually brings up Tyler Perry movies. It gets marketed completely differently and don't cost a damn thing, and he's right about that. But also another thing that they don't do in these movies is a black man with a white woman. It really turns off white audiences a lot. Anytime you see an interracial couple on screen, it's usually a black woman and a white man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw some dirt on that. I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you why.
I'm going to tell you. You can disagree with it all you want. This is what screen testing has shown.
Here's my thing. We, as obviously we're in the U.S. We as a country, we think, we won't accept that. We won't accept that. You know why we won't accept it? Because they never fucking do it. They don't do it. The reason why this movie didn't do well.
Oh, it's not because of that.
No, and the reason why white people didn't go see it is not because of that. It's not. The reason why they didn't go see it is because you did a movie where you cut 2 fucking different trailers. One, the black people trailer for Red Tails, which was like, we fight to the last man and we're gonna save America and all this other shit, and it was super like patriotic, and you were like, oh right, yeah. And then they had a fucking TV spot, and that was for the white crowd with fucking Skrillex playing over it. I bullshit you not, with fucking dubstep, and it's like
what?
Yeah, dude, I'm not even lying to you. I'll show it to you offline. You can go on YouTube. There are 2 very different fucking trailers.
There's a Skrillex
Dude,
trailer.
it's like I don't know if it's Skrillex. I don't know if it's Skrillex, but
there's
it's
a dubstep trailer to this fucking movie.
Yes. But that's the marketing, because they did like Lucas said.
That's
they
crap marketing.
They said they didn't know how to market it. Look, hey, I know a little bit about marketing. You want to know how you market a movie like Red Tails? Market it as a jingoistic World War II fucking fighter pilot movie. That's how you market it.
What fucking movie was it?
Yeah, you know what did really well? Saving Private Ryan. Dude, Americans love watching other Americans from olden times kill Nazis on screen. We love that shit. You can't get enough.
Getting back to my other point, Denzel.
I love it.
Denzel was I can't remember what movie it was. It was a movie based on a book where his character was black and the woman was white. And in the book, they got together.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And in the movie, they did nothing more than hug.
I don't know.
And that's the kind of shit that happens in Hollywood, where Lucas is very right. These kind of movies are hard as hell to sell.
Right, but the problem is, if you don't ever address it, it will never get better. It will never get better. You can't say, people don't seem to accept interracial relationships on TV. Really?
Oh no, TV's changing a lot more than film is, and
Dude.
I love TV has gotten way better
Right.
with everything.
Right. They say that, oh, you couldn't have a show with two gay men. Dude, have you watched The New Normal?
That
Yeah,
show's
they're
awesome.
not. Yeah, it's a great show, but they one step at a time. They gave you Modern Family, where they just hug. They don't really have any like sexual chemistry.
I've never watched Modern Family.
It's a great show, but there are two gay men characters on there, but they are, they hug or whatever, but they never really show them from a sexual perspective like any other couple on TV.
So
The New Normal doesn't pull any punches.
So
you know what?
So how do you think
Sure.
Hollywood's going to get in on this? How do you think Hollywood's going to suck it up and actually start doing
So
this properly?
one movie has to do it, and it has to hit big,
And it has to be well done.
and it has to be good, and then hey, everybody's got this jungle fever thing. Let's get it going.
But
Now- now,
and that's the thing
with
is Hollywood
that-
is about repetition.
With that in mind,
of anything else.
With that in mind, do you think they would be able to do it without casting a Will Smith?
I think Will Smith might be the person you have to do it. Dude, Will Smith is a crossover actor. But you need somebody darker than Will Smith. No, you do.
Like his son?
Well, yeah.
His son's darker.
A slight shade darker. No, I mean, look, Idris Elba, and I joke about this guy all the time because Idris Elba's awesome, right? He's a good actor. He's a good-looking guy. He's very popular, all that shit, right? My wife definitely seems to think so. But that being said, Idris Elba is becoming a huge star. If Idris Elba was in a movie he was with fucking Ellie Landry or whatever, where she was like trying to steal him away from Beyonce.
Yeah,
right?
but she
was a villain,
Yeah.
right? But if you had the two of them, and it's not under the guise of they're in an interracial relationship and the black side doesn't understand and the white side doesn't understand and they're fighting together. None of that. Just hey, Johnny met Susie and they're together. And, other circumstances, I don't know, alien invasion or some shit like that, and you have them as the two main characters, people stop. If you stop going, it's about race, people will just go, oh, this movie is pretty good. Done.
And there are some examples, but they're not good. Like Hancock, for example. Hancock was...
but it's not good.
But
Hancock was 2/3 of a decent movie.
Yes, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Because that last freaking act was...
Bad. But you can do it. You can do it. And it's like anything else. I like when people say, "Oh, Americans can't accept blah blah blah." I don't believe that. We just don't. I don't
think
serve
Americans
it up.
can't. I just think they aren't used to it. They really they aren't used to seeing that.
Right, but how do you get used to it unless you show it?
This is true.
Yeah. So like the problem is it's like my argument with female superheroes. If you don't put them in fucking movies, then people they could never market that. Well, you've never tried.
Can you just accept that Wonder Woman sucks?
You're not getting that Wonder Woman movie.
I pump it on every podcast I'm on. Come on, people. Get it together. No, but you have to if you push the ideas, whatever those ideas are, if you push those ideas, eventually they'll break through.
But you have to push them right. And I think that's what we're getting at with this freaking film is that it was not pushed right.
Nothing was pushed right. Nothing. Also, by the way, there is a massive growing population of mixed people. Right?
Really?
Yeah, I know. They're everywhere. But it's becoming a real problem, actually. Yeah. No, but they're taking over. No, when I used to live in California, I looked this up. There are 5% of California is black. 5% of California is also mixed race. They're taking over. They're becoming the new minority.
I will say this, obviously we're on the Eastern Seaboard, and the Eastern Seaboard is apparently very unique in its blending and its non-segregation of all the cultures. I have heard...
the West Coast as well.
Well, and the West Coast, but I've heard a lot of people not from the East Coast say that it's weird being on the East Coast because it's like watching God play chess. And they're not used to races mixing like that.
That's really funny. I like that. It's like watching God play chess. I like that. That's good. Yeah, no, but I don't know. I think their relationship wasn't bad. I didn't mind their relationship. I thought she was pretty.
I thought it was their reasons for being in a relationship made no sense. There was nothing there.
All circumstances around their relationship didn't make
any sense. Right? Hey, it's grandma. She's in love with you.
If this film started with them already in the relationship, I'd be fine. But the way it started was nonsense.
Hey, I'm some random pilot that just happened to see you and you waved at me, so I figured, hey.
You waved at me and couldn't see me for shit.
Right.
You just saw a plane and we're waving like anyone does when there's a low-flying plane, a base near you.
Wave.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I fucking hate that character. I hate that character.
I think you're a hater. Now, okay, let's listen to Lucas talk about one of the reasons why he made the movie.
I wanted to make an inspirational for teenage boys. I wanted to show that they have heroes, that they're real American heroes, they're patriots, that help make the country what it is today. And, it's not glory where you have a lot of white officers running these guys into cannon fodder.
This is like Bendis talking about Ultimate Spider-Man.
This for me is really funny because he's right. It's not like Glory because Glory was good. Glory actually really dealt with how fucked up the Civil War was.
We should do Glory next.
Oh, Glory's a good one. That's a rough movie, man. It's a rough movie to watch. It's a beautiful movie in a lot of ways. But he wanted to have these heroes that these kids could look up to, right? Oh, yeah. Listen, Lucas, spoiler alert. It doesn't matter if they were black. It doesn't matter if they were white. Kids these days are not looking at World War II pilots as any sort of modern-day heroes for them. They're just not going to.
That makes it make a tiny bit more sense for me because when you think heroes, you don't think so much characters, you think caricatures, and that's what these people were. These people were caricatures, and they each had their little thing. Like, I love the Black Jesus, and I love my guitar, and it's just they all had their little thing, their little quirk, and you had that picture of their quirk on the side of the plane, which makes sense in the time frame that it was set in.
Yeah, I mean that was a real thing.
But it's also for his little hero worship thing. It makes sense what kind of movie he was making. I just don't think he should have made that kind of movie.
Do you think that is there a director, black or white, who could have done this movie and done it justice?
A director with more experience. This guy.
What about the writing? Do you think it should have been rewritten, or you think with the script?
There's like 4 writers on this movie,
including Aaron Magruder from the Boondocks.
Yeah, I
saw his name.
I was like, what?
It has nothing. And okay, I'm not gonna say it's nothing. It's not entirely the writers and the director. It's really Lucas, and this is why I'm glad he's not in charge of the Star Wars franchise anymore, because he makes crazy nutball decisions based on exactly what he wants and doesn't get what everyone else wants.
Do you think this would have benefited from actually being brainstormed and everything by black staff?
Yes.
Or yeah.
Yes.
See, I think so too.
I think they would have addressed the racism more and addressed it properly.
Yeah.
I think they would have looked at these characters and said, "You sound goofy. We're not making a goofy film. We're going to make a serious film." And this film would have been very serious. I still would have hoped that it would have had the kind of backing to look as gorgeous as it does, because it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, the look of the film was great.
Yes, it's just even the set pieces I just really liked.
Right.
But that's what Lucas brought to this film that I enjoyed, was how great it looked. But he also brought his personal opinions and his personal ambitions for this film, which didn't do it justice. He says it took him 23 years to make this, and I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, those are the worst 23 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's. There's one more clip I want to play from Lucas, which I think is pretty telling.
The racism and all the real. Then we have to, at the end, when they came back after the war, they basically, boycotted a officers' club and started the civil rights movement.
Well, that is one of the most difficult things to swallow about World War II is the soldiers, and in America's military history in general, the black soldiers fighting heroically overseas and then coming home to second-class treatment, to not being able to eat in certain places, not being able. That is seemingly the one of the more offensive moments.
Well, this is not a movie about victims. This is a movie about heroes.
And that's where he loses it.
Yep. Because it's not Luke Skywalker, dude. Like, the reason why you give a shit about these guys is because they were vulnerable, because they had because not only did they have flaws that you can actually address, and they had a drink and then they were fine, but they actually dealt with real shit. That scene in the jail with Easy and Lightning, where Easy is basically saying, dude, don't worry about... He's literally giving a pass to racism, like, oh, we got to fight a war. I know. The O phase quote, I know all about that. But what I'm saying is we got to fight the war. You just gave a fucking pass to your buddy who just got called, dude, hey, go home, nigger. Like, you're just like, look, don't worry about that. It's cool because we're fighting the war for a country that doesn't really fucking like us anyway. Yeah. That's bullshit. That character shouldn't have said that. What he should have said is, yeah, dude, I agree with you. However, you just don't go punching the guy. You
gotta pick your battles.
You gotta pick your battles. Yeah. Not, I mean, is it really that big of a deal? I mean, basically, it's what he fucking said.
I agree. It's just...
Yeah. The movie is frustrating because it had the potential to be amazing. And the problem is, every time a movie like this is done, it's like the old joke, like, oh, look at this jackass on TV, taking black people back 20 years. This takes black movies back 5-10 years, because every time you make a movie like this, then someone goes, hey, why don't we do a movie, why don't we do a Black Panther movie? There's no way we could do that. That'll never work.
This movie was...
It's true.
The dialogue was so hokey, the caricatures, the not dealing with racism. As I'm watching it, I have a hard time looking at it as a black movie. That's why I think it didn't bother me so much, because I'm just like, it's not a black movie, whatever. I'm just going to watch these crazy dogfights. And that's pretty much where my head was. I can't even look at it as this is black cinema, because it doesn't address it as if... It doesn't address a very obvious problem that's right there. It doesn't touch it at all, which is ludicrous. If you're going to have a film filled with black people that doesn't have any issues with racism, don't set it in a time and a setting where racism is a huge part of what the hell's going on.
Yeah, set it in like 1985. Prince was out. I mean,
this would be like...
Yeah, exactly. Things are better.
This would be like making a movie about the Negro Leagues and not touching racism.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe they're making a Jackie Robinson sort of biopic. Please don't. Just don't, because it's just not going to be done with any level of seriousness.
I don't...
Look how many home runs he hit. Yeah, did they talk about how they used to throw shit at him and call him a nigger constantly while he was playing? Yeah, but he got a home run.
You could use the same shower that we use.
Okay.
Thanks, Jackie Robinson. Thank you.
Is this movie going to be like the freaking Help, where it was told from the white angle?
Right. Yeah,
no, I mean that's what I fear from these movies.
But you know what? That stems to a bigger problem in Hollywood. These white folks, they don't know how to write. It's just like a man trying to. One of the reasons your Wonder Woman movie is not going to get off the ground is because there aren't too many women writing screenplays that can do something like that.
Let Kathryn Bigelow do it.
I can't remember the name of the test, but there's basically every movie I watch, I think about this. Ever since I heard it, every single film I watch, this has to do with women. When you watch a film, are there more than 2 female characters? Okay, that's test 1. Do they have a conversation with each other? Okay, test 2. Is that conversation about something other than a man? Does it pass all 3 of those? So few films do. It's absurd. I watch every movie thinking about this, and very few movies will actually pass that test.
Well, that's because the people at the top of the studios right now are old white men
that want giant spiders running around in their movies.
Yes, but I mean, it's true. I mean, they do. Wild West. No, but that's a solid point. And if you have a bunch of old white men, no offense to old white men listening out there, if you have a bunch of old white men, what perspective do they have on gay folks, women?
What's racism, precious?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That is true. I mean, that's not. It's not ridiculous to say that. In my opinion, if you're Sumner Redstone who runs like, what is it, fucking CBS or something like that, the fuck does Sumner Redstone know about gay folks, women, black people, Asian, Latino. What does he know? He's 1,000 years old. Back in his day, it was like, yeah, they hit the button in the elevator. I don't know. Like, I don't fucking know. And, dude, that's not his fault. But how the fuck do you expect that guy to be sympathetic to something like, hey, we're going to do a movie about the Tuskegee Airmen? I don't even know what that is.
No.
How much money? $58 million. I'm sorry. I think you mean $28 million.
I like
Call Tyler Perry.
I like Lorne Michaels, but just look at the stuff he produces.
Right.
Yeah.
But and it's a problem. There aren't any there are almost no good black directors anymore. There aren't. Who? Tim Story?
Look, we're not even gonna.
Oh yeah. I just realized. Yeah, what he directed.
Go there.
That's funny. No, but where are the good black directors anymore? Spike Lee. Steve McQueen.
Is he still doing anything?
But to play devil's advocate, this director is black. You got to give people a shot, right?
You do.
Not with something this important, though.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
He should have.
He should have been the assistant director on Red Tails. How about that?
Yeah. Well, he's been assistant director on everything else.
Right.
Everything else.
This is a movie Spike Lee should have done.
Yes.
Didn't Spike Lee do a World War II movie?
Yeah, he did Miracle at St. Anna, which was all right. It was okay.
I never saw that.
It was okay. But it dealt with a lot of the same things. The problem with that movie wasn't the dealing with racism. The problem with that movie was there was like sort of a MacGuffin that just kind of fell apart. But Spike Lee should have done this movie. Lucas should have gone to Spike Lee and said, listen, dude, look, my planes, my CGI, and your ability to actually tell a fucking story, fucking come on. I mean, there was talk that Lucas went to Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry said no.
Jesus Christ.
Why? Because Tyler Perry would rather make a movie about tropes and fucking stereotypes about black people shucking and jiving
and make crap loads of money off of doing nothing.
Right, than to do a movie where he has to risk.
Well,
I star in Star Trek randomly.
I thought that he was.
What the fuck was that?
I thought he was trying to break away from the Medea character because
he's got another Medea movie coming.
They're not going to. They're not stupid.
That's the thing. He does 3 Medea movies and then a non-Medea movie.
Yeah, but these non-Medea movies are always just black love, and it just kind of gets old. It's every time I see a non-Medea movie by him, it's really just another love story.
He's got Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor, which he will be the director, writer, and producer. He will not be in that. And then he has Medea's Christmas, the movie.
So basically all low-budget stuff.
And then Single Moms Club. You want to guess what that one's about? Which he will be directing, writing, producing, and acting in. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is what's happening. This is the premier black director in America right now.
And I know Micah and I have you have the same opinion too. And I know I have a lot of black friends that love some Tyler Perry.
Oh, my family does.
But I can't tolerate it. I can't.
No.
Yeah, I can't.
I know I've never said on this podcast my Tyler Perry theory, right?
Which is?
If you look at Tyler Perry's movies, the villains are always dark-skinned black men, and the heroes are always light-skinned black men.
I win.
Yeah.
In this room, I win.
Yeah. If this podcast was taking place during a Tyler Perry movie, we would be evil, and we would probably be cheating on our dark-skinned, beautiful black women with white women or very light-skinned.
You would be cheating on them, and I would be beating on them.
Yes, I believe that is how it works. But that's my thing. And trust me, we're gonna do a Tyler Perry movie, and I got more in that theory. I got a lot more in that theory because there is a serious fucking problem with the lack of actual directors in the black genre. There just aren't any, and it's a real problem.
Well, we're also kind of pigeonholed. I mean, heaven forbid a black director wants to do something science fiction or wants to do
Lando
political thriller.
Lando Calrissian, the movie. I would watch that. Think about it.
I'll bring this back to women again, and you probably heard the same podcast I heard on Punisher Warzone.
Right, she's a woman.
Yeah, the director was a woman.
Lexi Alexander, yeah.
Which I was surprised, and like listening to her talk about it and her trouble with actually getting this film made with her behind it, and the lack of respect she got, and it's you're right. If you're not a white man director, you're gonna be pigeonholed into doing certain types of movies that no one.
I mean, the only person like that I can think of who's broken out of that is Kathryn Bigelow. She did. She just did
Zero
Point
Dark 30.
Oh. Yeah, Zero Dark 30, and what was the Jeremy Hurt Locker? Thank you.
Oh yeah.
She won a fucking Oscar for that, as she should have.
Because it was fucking good.
Yeah, but part of her thing is the reason why she got the real big break is because she was married to James Cameron.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just a problem with black movies. It's a problem with female-oriented films and stuff like that. Oh, it's got to be a girls' movie, shots, whatever, or martinis or cosmopolitans or whatever, That was terrible. I'm sorry. but it's true. They're nothing but tropes and stereotypes, and this movie does nothing to address or try to break those stereotypes. As the famous Spike Lee once said, he is famous. Not that long ago about Tyler Perry. Looks like coonery buffoonery to me.
He said that?
That video is up on our Facebook page.
I love him.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. Yeah, he got some backlash about that. Tyler Perry said he could go to hell.
Tough. You change your style, Tyler.
Yeah. It's coonery. It is.
Stop proving him right.
Yep. Okay, so that is it for this week. Of course, we will be back in 2 weeks with a new episode. Look for a mini episode next week to let you know what that movie will be, because we haven't decided yet. You can, of course, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/blackonblackcinema. We also have a webpage, blackonblackcinema.com, where you can listen to each episode. You can click on our iTunes link. Please leave us a review if you are listening. We are, of course, on Stitcher Radio as well as iTunes. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review. We would really appreciate it. It really helps us out. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Like us on Facebook. We are also on Twitter at BlackOnCinema. So definitely friend us. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Did you like Red Tails? Did you not like it? Why or why not? All right. That's before we play the outro, I want to play the final speech from was it Terrence Howard gave that speech, right?
Did it sound like a woman was giving the speech?
Sure it wasn't Cuba.
I think it might be Cuba Gooding Jr. Thanks for that, Mike.
Pilots flying escort now go for every...
No. Okay, so it was Terrence Howard. Let me just say this. Hold on. Let me just say this. Ironically, Terrence Howard sounds like the Medea character.
Oh, God.
Pilots flying escort now go for every kill they can score. That's how they were trained. That's how they fight. Here's how we change up the strategy. Lights up. At all costs, under every circumstance, you protect the heavies.
Colonel, we signed up to shoot Germans, not babysit planes.
You signed up to follow orders. One bomber, that's 10 men. You getting one Jerry so you can put a cross on your plane. That doesn't balance that. We count our victories by the bombers we get to their targets, by the husbands we return to their wives, by the fathers we get back to their children. What has not changed, what will never change, from the last plane to the last bullet to the last minute to the last man we fight, we fight.
Yes, sir. Medea goes to war.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're out of here. Later, guys.
We out.